One of the big questions we get is, Dr. Weiss, is my husband or wife a narcissist? Are they a sociopath? Okay. And now, disorders are different than addictions, but however, they do feel the same in this way. A disorder like sociopath, the lack of empathy, all addicts have lack of empathy. Why is different? The sociopath has a lack of empathy because of a psychological disorder. Okay, it's like they're almost missing a chip. A sex addict without a disorder has a lack of empathy because they're about 12 to 13 years old emotionally, spiritually, and morally. So they honestly don't see it. Now, however, the sex addict, when sober, will grow out of it, and the sociopath will not unless they do a really lot of hard work. Okay? Does a sex addict and a sociopath share that lack of empathy? Absolutely. Okay? But again, because of immaturity versus disorder. Okay? Will a sex addict use and lie to other people like a sociopath would? Yep. But again, a sociopath is doing it out of a disorder, and an addict is doing it because they're 13, 14 years old, they're in high school, and they want to do what they want to do. Okay? Using people is really a part of it. Lying to people is really a part of it. Okay? Go back to that's what happens when you're not really spiritually, emotionally, and morally mature. You act like an adolescent and you think like an adolescent. But again, as an addict, there's lots of hope they can grow out of it. Now, before I go any further, let me tell you where I'm coming from. For over 35 years, I've been treating sex addicts. I'm a psychologist, and I've been doing a 5-day, 3-day intensives for about 20 of those years. And for most of those 20 years, I've been doing psychological testing. So I've been testing sex addicts as to whether they have psychological disorders. And very rarely does sociopath come up. Even rare does narcissism come up, although the spouse is experiencing every single one of those symptoms. So it's confusing because she goes on Google and she looks down the list, okay? Does a sociopath use an alias? Does a sociopath take advantage of people? Yes. Do addicts go online and say they're Joe and their name is Jack? Yes, they lie. Do addicts deceive men and women into having sex and pretending that there's somebody else, that they're not married? Right? They do. But they do it to get their drug. They don't do it because it's just fun and entertaining to manipulate people and they get pleasure out of it like a sociopath might. Okay? The motivation is different and the origin is different. Okay? So if you're going down Google and you're finding out if your husband is a sociopath, you might be finding out that they're an addict. And those are different. And now the good news is if they're an addict, they can grow out and mature out of it. If they're not, they really need professional care that specializes in that disorder. Okay, usually they attack one symptom of the disorder at a time. Now, can someone be both? It is possible, okay? But generally sociopath and narcissist, and I'm talking about, I have tested hundreds and hundreds of sex addicts and their wives, okay? And just like with the wives, about 80% come up with histrionic features, okay? And some with even histrionic personality disorder. But it's based on the trauma. Their irregulation is based on the trauma, not based on the personality disorder.